Welcome back everyone to the Complete Pineleaf, where today we are removing a few traps that have been spread along the road here, probably to damage some horses that may be coming through as the army marches through. Now, of course, much of the army has already marched through, so I guess there must be either planning for a second wave or we have a case of the enemy being a little bit late in what they're doing. But if the enemy's a little bit late in putting up these traps, then why are they sending me out to fix them? No idea. Probably just a case an herbalist came through or something like that. Oh, more traps. And speaking of herbalists, I'm also needing to collect some vials of poison and the like. Well, I guess the herbalists won't be making vials of poison, but I'm sure they'll love for me to pick one of these vetchlings. Hello there, I finished removing the traps.
Faith alone will not stop the enemy.
You've made the roadways safe for our allies, but I fear the Kundalar will not be so easily deterred. They have made camp along the slopes of the Efelduath and have readied their defenses. Their number are many, even with so many of their forces spread across the northern wilds of Ithilien. We must strike soon, or it shall become all but impossible to drive them out. Right. And I presume by the definition of soon means right now? Yes, in my scouting I have listened secretly to passers-by and have heard them refer to the camp in their tongue as Uya Huyum. To assail it will be no easy task. The Kundalar encampment is well defended by the soldiers, and they have armed themselves with trebuchets. I have not been able to discern how far their encampment stretches into the slopes of the Mountains of Shadow, into this but the pass they have claimed is of considerable length and shall be an arduous course. To ensure the Kundalar can no longer pose a threat to Ithilien and the host of the West, we must thin their numbers, dismantle their siege weapons, and destroy their supplies. I would trust no other among us than you with this task, Pineleaf. Oh. Hmm. So I need to defeat Kundalar, just burn their banners, destroy their ration barrels, and destroy their trebuchets. Well, since they aren't orcs, maybe I should consume some of their provisions. As best as I can surmise, the Kundalar have not yet discovered their chance fortune in making camp along the slopes of the Mountains of Shadow. You see, when my fellow rangers and I scouted the road into Daggerlad, we often used these hills as a perch from which to observe the enemy's movements. However, it is far from our refuges and a long journey to food and shelter alike. We took to hiding caches of supplies and wrapped rations beneath the soil of the Kundalar have now claimed as their own. While some are safe beyond their encampment's entrance, the rest are surely buried just beneath their feet. We have great need of these caches, and to have them in our hands of the enemy would only prolong their invasion of Ithilien. When you come to their camp, keep a keen eye for their hidden caches and return with as many of them as you're able to recover. How many are there inside the camp? 8. 8 caches. Oh, joy. That appears to be their camp. And what is this? Disturbed earth. You discover nothing of importance beneath the disturbed earth. Alright. Does that mean that they have found the cache and took it further on? Or doesn't mean that there was nothing there and that I was just seeing things. Whatever's the case, we need to deal with this warrior. Let's bring him over here, just to give him a grand old time. And to avoid that cat. Well, we're not going to avoid that cat anyways. These guys are blind! Fine. If you're gonna miss me completely, I'll just attract your attention. The Pineleaf way, that's it. With the spear in the back. Oh, of course the cat would be a signature. Just to make my... Alright, so the pet cat is stronger than the owner. Okay, I suppose so. Ah, now where were we? Let's deal with the trebuchet. Let's see what this guy... Is that a banner that I can burn? No, for some reason I'm not supposed to burn that banner. I guess I'm supposed to burn the banners that are further in. Okay, fine. There you go. There is more than one way to spear a cat. Let's try that. And that. Are you done yet? Now for your turn. Yeah, the cat's dead and you're following it right quickly. Good. Now, see, we're taking care of the Kundalar. We're taking care of the trebuchets. Where we? Ah, that looks like a freestanding banner that I want to be able to burn. Let's head out this way. Just grab this thing and need to keep my eye out for any caches that could be in the area. And oh yeah, I need to find supplies in the... Oh! Yeah, like those things! Hey, let's see what's inside it. Might be something scrumptious. I mean, this isn't exactly an orc camp, right? And there you go. Your turn. And I think there's also something back there that I should check right afterwards. And here's some rations. Ooh. Some disturbed earth. Is this a cache? Yep, that's one of them. Good. We're getting along pretty well now. Now comes the second section of the camp. And nothing important in that one. Looks like various parts are disturbed, whether or not they have anything there. Now, is there any way that I can get by these guys? I suppose one thing I could do is to try to do it subtly. But as you can see, I did not take that route. Alright, let's get rid of this guy. Okay, perhaps this wasn't a good idea. Definitely not a good idea. Well, at least I survived. That's the good news. Took a few potions, but I survived. Now, I think they gave me all the Kundalar I need, right? But I still need to find more of these caches. Need to find a few more of these banners. Need to find a few more supplies. And maybe, just maybe, I can get out of here alive. Oh yes, trebuchets. I think I found where the bulk of them are. I'm sure nobody heard that, right? Who could possibly that went down with such a whisper that I'm sure that absolutely nobody in the camp. Maybe I better stay away from that stone. Oh. Whew. That was an ordeal.
Be wary, my friends. Evil spoils these grounds.
We're fortunate indeed that you were able to unearth these caches before the Kundalar discovered they built their camp atop countless supplies. If they had, driving them from North Easterling would surely have proven an even greater task. I shall see that these are returned to my brethren at Henethanoon. You have my thanks, Pineleaf. Well, you're welcome then. What else you need?
Though I know Aragorn not, a ranger will not lead you astray.
You have done it, my friend. I saw a few of their number flee back into Daggerlad as you returned. I don't think they expected to encounter a warden of your skill. They will certainly come again, but for a time we're free of Kundalar's presence in the North Easterling. Now then, you should return to Captain Anborn in Henethanoon and tell him of what you've done. If only I were there to see his face when you tell him of the Kundalar. Well, yeah, I'll see what his face looks like when I tell him. I've dealt with the Kundalar for the moment. So, they're routed and flee in fear to Daglad? You have done a great service to the Rangers, my friend. Through your efforts, our stores are renewed and my men better protected. Easterling itself heals with greater vigor. I think perhaps it is time that you rejoin your allies in the host of the West. By my thinking, to deprive them of one of your skill would be a great mistake. Let us talk more on your journey and of the road up ahead. Oh, I get to get some boots. Yes, the host of the West has passed northward, and even now they make camp in the border of Daggerlad. Yes, I've seen some of them. And the pass of Kirithnegan has been made safe, the roadway north is clear, and the lands of Daggerlad are steeped in the enemy's corruption. The host of the West shall have need of you in the coming days. Of this I have no doubt. Although my men are familiar with the lands of Daggerlad, its harsh terrain and wide plains make it deadly to those who do not move with care. By sharp stone, orc, or worse, terrors of the Black Land, death follows closely upon the battle plain. Bear this in mind, Pineleaf, for it is there that you and the host of the West will challenge the Dark Lord. I ask that you rejoin them as swiftly as you can and travel their camp in the north. If you see Damrod, please speak with him on my behalf. A great test lies before us, and we must not fail. All right, fine. I'll head to the camp of the host of the West. Finally reached the camp of the host, and I found Damrod.
The city may be lost, but we still fight to defend it.
Pineleaf, for a moment I was afraid you had left our company behind. It was a foolish worry, but fear has a smothering presence so close to the Black Land. This is it, my friend. Soon we shall pass from the lands of Gondor into the battle plain Daggerlad. While the Rangers and I often patrol the lands of the Daggerlad, the enemy cannot mistake our purpose in mustering so many on his border. We have fought through exhaustion, and now we must draw up our weapons once more. I am glad that all of us shall stand together as we march to the Black Gate. Hmm, well, let's see what Mithrandir has to say about that. And there he is, up there, still looking out into the distance on Shadowfax. Hi, hello.
The Dark Lord knows well of our approach, and we shall soon learn what manner of trap he has devised for us before the Black Gate.
Notice he says what manner of trap, not whether or not there is a trap. Let us hope that the Dark Lord remains blind to the trap that we have laid in turn, and even more so, that our chance victory might be won. We're nearing the end of the journey, Pineleaf, and Aragorn will soon have need of all of us. Yes, I suppose he will. And what does Aragorn have to say about that?
We stand on the border between Gondor and Sauron's wastes, and if any among us would turn back, now is the final moment.
Yes, I don't blame those who would turn from the coming battle. It shall cost most of us our lives, but if Frodo can finish his quest, a victory over Sauron would be worth them all. We must stand together as one against the Dark Lord when the time comes, and I trust that you will be at my side. We have traveled far in service of the same quest, my dear friend, and now we must see it done. Mhm.
Might I speak with you one moment?
Ah, finally! That's what I needed to do to unlock the faint-hearted quest, the one that I somehow missed all through this. Pineleaf, might I speak with you for one moment? As we have passed through Ithilien, I look at these men and I see a horror growing behind their eyes. As we rest upon the border of Dagorlad, I have heard whispers of those unable to carry on, of those unable to move or bear arms. I ask of you, seek out these men and speak with them. Find what it is that has stricken them so. I fear the closeness of Mordor is enough to bring most men to a halt. Well, there is that. A great number of things. So I need to speak with Dune here and a scared warrior, an uncertain warrior, and an injured warrior. What's an injured warrior doing here? Well, who knows? Well, what do these warriors have to say? And how will we solve the matter of the faint hearted? We have to find that out in the next episode of The Complete Pine Leaf.